Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Today we're here to look at the PSE Supra Focus. It's a new bow for 2019 for PSE. It's not the top of the line PSE target bow. It's a step down and always has been the step down. It's 37 inches axle, weighs about 4.4 pounds. Draw length is adjustable from 26.5 to 31.5. IBO speed of 326 feet per second. It has a flexible cable guard, which is standard on all the PSEs with a roller slide. Carbon string stop. Machine limb pockets here with the wedge lock system to push the limbs against the edge of these limb pockets. And here the limb pockets squeeze in against the limbs so the limbs cannot physically move inside the limb pocket. Now with 2018, the Supra comes in a whole bunch of new colours. This is the new sky blue. It comes in two powder coats, a white and a rose gold. It comes now in a blue, black, I think red, probably the gold, probably the platinum, and probably some greens, I'm guessing. Now, the difference between this and the PSE Perform and Shoot Down. The PSE Perform and the Shoot Down have a lateral limb system, so you can rotate the limbs left to right. The Supra does not have that system, and to me that's not a bad feature. I'm not a huge fan of the lateral limb system because it enables you to move your limbs left to right, and what I find is people tend to be moving their limbs left to right, they tend to be moving this, they tend to be moving that, and they get really lost and confused where they're up to. So I prefer a bow like this, which is just put it together and shoot. Now this little thing here, the limb bolts go into, that basically makes it easier for you to wind in and out the limb bolts. If you do wind your limb bolts out too far and you strip these things, you can buy replacements. This bow you can wind out 10 limb bolt turns, no more, or you will strip these things out and you will need to replace them. They are fairly cheap to replace. The brace height is 7 inches from there to there, which is pretty standard. That's the same as the PSE Shoot Down. Now, this bow features the Evolve cam system. This is a twin cam system, so the top cam and the bottom cam is the same. It has a module, top and bottom, which is the same. It has a yoke. The yoke feeds off the limbs here. Sorry, feeds off the cam. So as you pull back the cam, the yoke's rolling out. So the yoke is actually moving down. Each limb on the PSE Supra is a different poundage. Now they're all marked, all the limbs. So this marking system is a little bit unique for 2019. So number 14, which you'll see written on this limb here, is the type of limb this is. So number 14. The 980 number, I've got no idea what that is. So each one of these limbs is 14 and they're all 980. Now the next digits refer to the deflection of the limbs. So this one here is the lightest of the limbs at being a 129. The limb on the right hand side is a 136. This is the heaviest of the limbs. This is the second lightest limb, being a 130. So almost the same as the top, fractionally heavier than the top, and the right hand side is 133. So it goes lightest, second lightest, third lightest, heaviest. That's to stop cam lean on the limbs. Now, common questions: you do not adjust the wedge lock system if you're winding in and out the limb bolts. To adjust the let off, you just move this little thing here this way to reduce the let off. So this comes in a 75 to 65. If you want to make it 65, you just move it that way a little bit. If you want to have high let off, you have to buy a new module. There are 3 types of modules for this bow. This bow comes with a low let off module standard, and you'll see every part on a PSE has a code. I'm sorry, you've got to forgive my light system. The last couple of digits here say LL. So that's low let off. It also has an option of a fast let off or a high let off. High let off is 90 to 80% let off. So if you want, an easier holding, you just buy a module. They're about 120 Australian dollars. It has a lower mounting position here for the rear cable guard. Sorry, forget where I'm up to. The balance of this bow. The first thing you'll notice is it's top heavy, really top heavy. Now that's not like PSE. PSE generally have all really good balanced bows. The other thing which is different with this bow is the angle and limbs. You'll see all PSEs tend to be 90 degrees. So parallel limbs. This bow is not like that. It's more like a Hoyt, where the limbs are not parallel, although Hoyt is doing beyond parallel these days. But this is quite different. The circlips are stainless steel. These cables are now served, which is good. You have multiple sight positions on the side of the riser here, so you can move your sight up or down to create that customized feel. Machine limb pockets, which is standard on the Perform, the shoot down. I think the cheaper bow, the $1,000 bow, the Phenom, I think has plastic. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to look at the previous versions of the Supra. This is the first of the Supras from my memory, and there is a model before this. This was my son's bow that we painted the limbs white and we painted the cams white because he wanted red, white and blue, and we created the tri-colored strings with the white, red and blue tinge to it. So this is my son's bow. This bow was a really popular seller. It had a hybrid cam system, so a module at the top, module at the bottom, with a yoke up the top. This bow was really popular. It was nice and light. At the price point, it was about $1,000 to $1,200 Australian. Nice and light, easy to shoot, a nice little bow, and very, very popular. It came in colours red, blue, and black. 3 colours. Then PSE produced this Supra. This we called the bat bow because it looks like a bat. It looks like the bat symbol from Batman. This bow, when it got released, I thought was not going to be a big seller. That PSE increased the weight of the bow, the physical weight, so I thought it was going to be too heavy for the people who are the customers of the Supra. And they also increased the price point by about $200. But they did release the bow in a whole bunch of new colours. Purple, platinum, no, probably gold, green. Oh, I'm forgetting lots of colours. Definitely whites there, but they had a whole bunch of new colours. They had a metal with a carbon cable rod which was off-centered, called the TRS cable rod system. This bow sold for around the $1,400 mark. Machine limb pockets. This bow was actually my biggest selling bow, and I surprised myself with sales. This bow outsold the shoot-through risers, probably 10 to 1, so this bow was a really big seller for me. And like I said, it really surprised me because I didn't think it would sell well. In 2018, PSE released this bow. This was called the PSE Shootdown, and I thought this bow would replace the Supra. So I thought the Supra wouldn't be seen anymore. It was a non-shoot-through riser, so it was a riser similar to the Supra, but it had this bridge-like system here and here. It was a evolved cam system with the standard PSE limbs that you see, which are at 90 degrees. This bow sold for around $1,800, and while I think this is a really nice bow, it didn't sell as well as the Perform. The shoot-through Perform probably outsold this bow 4 to 1 for me, where the Supra outsold the shoot-through riser 10 to 1. So I think it's probably because the price point of this bow went up. So although it's cheaper than its competitors, and its competitors being the Matthews TRX, which is probably $2,200, so this is $400 cheaper. The Elite Echelon, which is about $2,100, so this bow is about $300 to $400 cheaper than its rivals, that bows that are similar to it. Most people made the jump straight to the Perform, is what I found. So although a nice shooting bow, and I thought the Supra would no longer exist, so I was really surprised when this bow came out. So, like I said, I was lucky enough to get it before anyone else, and I'm not sure why that is. But PSE have a thing that you're not allowed to release any information about the bow or tell anyone about the bow until it's been released. And I've been dealing with PSE now for 20 plus years, and I haven't released any of that information. So they sometimes look after me like this, so I can produce a video for you and show you the new product. So now the Supras I have ordered haven't arrived. This is just one demo. So now I think this bow is going to be a pig to shoot because the limbs aren't parallel, because the balance is off as far as it's tilting backwards. Now what this backwards balance does, when you put that big long 30-inch stabilizer on the front with the weights, you won't need as much weight on the back here to balance the bow. So the overall effect of this misbalance is going to be to reduce the weight of the bow that you're going to need to shoot, because you're not going to need as much weight on the back. So if you're just going to test this bow in a shop compared to the shoot down or compared to the other bows are probably going to feel better because they're balanced. So now the arrow rest is dead in the center of the string on this bow, so the grip's slightly low. And you want the arrow rest to be dead in the center because this is a twin cam bow, so the wheels are always going to be timed all the way through. The bow is set on 60 pounds and 29 inch. So let's draw this back. Now I actually have drawn back this bow before, and I've done this video before. It's just that the sound didn't work. So I had to shoot all my videos from today again because there was no sound on all the rest of my videos. So I can tell you how this bow shoots, but I want to do it again for the video. So 7-inch brace height, which is exactly the same as the shoot down. Now the first thing I notice is this cable guard here is really close to the D loop, almost like the Prevail. Not quite as close, but so it's quite firm. I'm kind of going to get valley about here, and then it's dead stop. So it's a very short valley, and you can't really feel yourself getting into it. Now I'm going to take this shot. You can see the bow just pushes up like that. Now that is the only, I couldn't feel the bow jump forward in my hand. It didn't move left to right in my hand. It felt really nice to shoot. Now the let off on this bow, the draw cycle is smooth. Some of the bows, they sort of drop off, and if you're going to let down, they kind of rip your shoulder out when you're trying to let down. It's not the case with this bow. I'll let the bow down so you can sort of see you. You really can't feel yourself going into the valley. You know you are in a valley, but you can't really feel the valley taking effect. So the valley's probably hitting about there, and there's the dead stop. So I'm going to let this thing down. There's no point in that draw cycle where it's just going to rip my shoulder out. It's 60 pound is completely comfortable for me to let down. So a very nice draw cycle. And we'll just fire one more. So to me, given that the limbs were not parallel and the balance, this bow felt really nice to shoot. That feels really nice to me. So I've brought out the shoot down. Now this bow is actually wound down a little bit, so we would have had, someone would have shot it before. It's on 30.5-inch draw length, which is not ideal because I'm about 29, so it's going to be an inch and a bit longer for me. But I'm interested to see how this bow shoots compared to the Supra. Given that the axle's the same, the speed's the same, it's probably going to be a little bit more expensive than the Supra, given it's got the lateral limb system, which I don't value, but it's got a bridge riser here, which is meant to make the riser stronger. But for me, I think this bow looks better than the Supra. The grip feels different, even though it's the same grip. The grip feels slightly wider on the shoot down and the Perform than the Supra, and I don't know if it is or isn't. It just feels a little bit wider. The Supra feels a little bit more comfortable to me. Now, for me, this bow obviously is better balanced in the hand, but I feel a little bit of shock that way. It's not like there's a vibration in the bow, it just I feel a little bit of that, which I don't feel with the Supra. The Supra just feels really, really nice to shoot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit the stabilizers to it. Now I've got a set of secondhand stabilizers that were in my shop, and these stabilizers actually came from a guy who shot a Supra in my shop. So I just thought, well, grab those. Now I think the front stabilizer is 32 inches long. It has 7 ounces of weight on the front. Now his back stabilizer had a whole heap of weight on it, like heaps and heaps of weight. I've dropped it back to 7 ounces, so it's a 15-inch rear with about 7 ounces of weight. Now this is just for me to try. Now you can feel the balance. The balance is forward, and I like it to be a little bit forward because remember you're going to be pushing with your hand into that riser. So you just have a shot and see how it feels and see if you need more weight on the front or the back. So I rest the rear stabilizer on my leg. Maybe it's not, maybe it's 12, I thought it was 15 anyway. So I can't feel the valley. I get back into it. It's definitely a valley, but you can't feel yourself going in. And there's no vibration at all when I shoot this bow. It's just nothing. It's just dead. It is so impressive. It's so impressive. I think it's better than my Perform. Which always makes me wonder whether it's just like it's a new bow and, you know, I'm wrong, but I've got my Perform behind me, so I will shoot that. But this bow, I thought it was going to be a dog. It's fantastic. It feels great. The draw cycle feels good. The shot feels good when shot. The pin's dead stable on the target, and there's just nothing after you shoot it. The bow's just dead. It just feels fantastic. Now I've shot lots of target bows. I've shot pretty much every target bow made. I think that's the best. I really do. Now the difference between bows is minimal, but that just feels really just so good. Now this is my Perform. So this is the top of the range PSE bow. So if I was going to compare it to a Hoyt, you know, people would trash on me. So if I compare it to a PSE, no one ever trashes on me for trashing the PSE. I really like this bow, so. But that Supra feels just fantastic. But it could be me. I could be delusional, so just bear that in mind. Now it's really interesting. So these bows have the same cams. They have the same cams, the same modules. This bow I have wound down, so I have it on 56. This bow feels much lighter. You can see how many I've got, like probably a couple of turns, maybe one turn off. It feels much lighter. You can see the cable guard on the Supra. It's back slightly further, so I like the cable guard position of this better. I need to look at the cable slide on that one, because I would prefer the cable guard to be shorter. So let's have a shot. God, this bow feels super light. like it feels alright. Like this feels alright to shoot, and I've shot this bow obviously for 8 months. I've shot fine with it. The Supra feels, I don't know why, it feels better. Like the bow's not moving my hand. Maybe it's just 60 pounds versus 56 pounds. My point being, this is pretty good. I'm surprised the limbs are making so little difference. I would love to hear why PSE haven't done the 90 degrees pressure on the limbs, whether this is going to be a thing for PSE in their future bows, because it's clearly putting these under far less pressure, these limbs, and yet the bow just feels as good. Strings feel tight, feels good. I tell you, the bow feels so much lighter. So much lighter. I think I like this better than my Perform. I really do. Like the bow's not moving anywhere on the target, and when I take the shot it's not moving at all in my hand. I do like my Perform, but this is pretty good. See the bow, like it's not doing any left to right, it's just, the grip feels nicer to me, and I reckon it's just a smidge thinner. I just like this, I really like this bow. Now just on this, I have shot all the Supras before. I'm going to say that's the best target bow I've ever shot. Now the profile of this Supra compared to that Supra is almost the same. I'm just going to hold them up. You can see the limbs are wound out. You can see the limbs on the white one are under far more tension. The grip is narrower in the older Supra than the new one. This bow hasn't been shot for years. Now you can feel this bow's obviously lighter. Didn't care, like it's a good bow, and you know the difference between bows as they evolve bows is very minimal. This is a good bow and it's like many years old now. This bow feels good to shoot. There's a little bit more vibration. You can feel in the handle after the shot, and it's bow's wound down, but you can feel a little bit more vibration in the handle. But it's a nice shooting bow. People shot good scores with this. My son shot good scores with this bow. It has the same machine limb system as the new Supra. Has the same sight thing here as the new Supra. So to me, the new Supra is really like the old Supra with the new improved cams, the new evolved cam system, which is just going to give you that much more variance, so you can shoot low let off, high let off, fast. The fast modules are going to add probably 5 feet per second to your bow, but it makes a harder draw cycle, so you'd have to try that. But I really like that bow. I really do. Just one more shot and then finish this video. Crunch. Now, like I always say in any of my videos, don't take my word for it. Go down to a shop, have a shot. I think with this bow, because of the balance being so different to all the other target bows where the bows tend to be balanced, this is not balanced. You've got to fit a stabilizer to it. So, but even without the stabilizers, this bow felt really nice to shoot. And I'll just jump back a bit so you can sort of see the stabilizer. There it is. I haven't tightened it up. What happens when you just grab something off the shelf? Anyway. Oh, that is sweet. That's really nice. I really like that. So when you're going to pick a bow, always, if you can, always have a shot, because I really like this bow. Yeah, it's really, really nice. I feel like I should go and shoot at 18 meters now. And so you show you the groups, because I know they're going to be incredibly good. This bow just feels great to shoot. PSE have obviously shot this bow before sending it to me, because I thought this bow was going to be a dog to shoot, and I really like it. It's yeah, it's really, really nice. That's probably why they sent it to me, because they knew it was a really good bow. Now, the price point on this bow, I have no idea, but I'm going to guess, if you're happy for me to guess. It's not as good as the shoot down as far as the stuff on it. So it doesn't have a lateral limb system. It doesn't have the bridged riser. So this is a cheaper riser to make. I think this new Supra is only available in right-handed for some reason. So let's say this shoot down's $1,800 Australian. This has to be 16-ish, 16, 15. It's got to be somewhere around that. It's better than the PSE Perform, clearly better than the PSE Perform. PSE Perform sells for $1,000, so this has got to be somewhere in the market between the shoot down and the Phenom, the Phenom, which is $1,000. And when PSE price their bows, they do very much that. They go, well, where should this be priced in the market? Now, if this is around the $1,500, which is, I'm going to guess where it is, I've got no idea what I paid for the ones I've ordered, because I don't think I even saw pricing on them. And if I did, I didn't even pay any attention to it. Because I price up my stock when my stock comes into my store. So, at $1,500, this will be what the PSE Supra was of the past. I think this will be a good selling bow at a great price point for PSE. The bow's lighter. It's what you... See, there's no vibration on the stabilizer. Normally when you shoot a bow, the stabilizer vibrates. There's nothing. It's so good. So good. It's funny, when I did reviews on the Prevail, it had vibration afterwards. I found it hard to shoot. This is just really good. Now, if you're looking to buy this bow, look at the high let-off modules as well, because it's going to be easier for you to shoot with a high let-off than a low let-off. I would go low let-off because it creates more back tension. I shoot a back tension release load. So I have shot high let-off before, and I do shoot just as well with it. So you've got that whole argument about high let-off versus low let-off. But this is a really, really nice bow to shoot. It's so nice to shoot. I'm going to set up a complete target kit, and we'll shoot some indoor rounds, and I'll do some videos fully set up with a full target set up. But the weight, I was happy with the weight of those stabilizers because I haven't got as much weight on the back. I'm sorry I feel like I'm waffling. I'm really shocked that this bow is this good. It's really good. Normally with a bow, sometimes you got to grow into a bow and get used to it. It was the case with the Expression when I first got that. You can hear the rain outside, it's just a huge storm. When I first got the Expression, my scores took a dive and I had to build into it, and it took me time. This bow, I'm telling you, I can shoot huge scores straight off the bat with it because it's lighter, so I don't have to fight with the weight. With the Expression, the Performs that I've shot before, I've had to always fight with the weight. Because of this balance of this bow where it's been top heavy and I don't need so much weight on the back here, I'm not fighting with the weight. So I could put weight at the front, I don't need to put it at the back. So the weight at the front is where I'm getting my stability from, not from the back. So for me, this is ideal. Huge fan. And I started this video saying this bow was going to be a pig. That's really, really good. So I think the next thing I'll do is set it up and we'll shoot some target with it. And I'd like to compare it 1-to-1 against the Perform because I think it's a really good bow. I think I'll shoot similar scores with both, but I've got a feeling I'm going to shoot better scores with this. It just feels nice to me in the shot. So I'm going to be really interested to put some scores downrange with this bow. Anyway, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. I hope it's not storming where you are because it's really cold and there's a huge storm outside. Thanks for watching. It is the second time I've made this video because the sound didn't work the first time. PSE Supra Focus should be in stores in about 3 weeks if your dealer ordered them. Otherwise, ask your dealer to order one in to have a shot with. I think it's well worthwhile having a shot. It's a really nice bow to shoot. And yeah, PSE I think is shipping in about 3 weeks. Not all the colours, some of the colours in about 3 weeks is what they said. But I'm really like the bow. Thanks for watching.